created, but don't be surprised if I go rogue, just because I'm more comfortable that way. So my name is Aliana Richards. I am the co-owner of MX'D Natural Skincare, along with my daughter in the back right here. She is the co-owner as well. She's vice president, and then my little one is 4, and she'll end up being the face, but she's just not here today. So a little bit about us. So one of the things that we find or struggle with as any consumer is finding a product that works. Not only does it work, but we're also looking for products that we can relate to. Me being a multiracial female and also melanated, this is a struggle because when I go shopping, all I'm ever finding are products that are either going to cater to one or the other. Never anything that caters specifically to me. Hence MX'D Natural Skincare. So our sole purpose is to create products that cater specifically to multiracial individuals, male or female, as well as melanated individuals. So you can be African American, you can be Italian and have some hint to your skin. We're catering to you because our needs are different than everybody else's. So rather than try to go to the big wigs and say, hey, here's a problem, I became the solution. So it's a little bit about us. So our vision is to create a space in the industry that reflects products that are effective and represent you. And our mission is to create products that encourage you to embrace your multiracial melanin skin. One of the things that we always struggle with is where do we fit in? It's always a question. Am I white? Am I black? Am I Hispanic? I'm none of those. I'm mixed and I'm here to embrace it. So again, this is just a recap. This is our team. That's the little one. She's not here today. She's a lot older than that picture. And then I'd just like to say it's all in the mix. So here at MX'D, you don't have to choose because we've already chosen you. Oh, that's cute.
All right, you hang out there with the mic, and we're going to pass this around. This is the Q&A portion, so this is where you get to ask questions about the business. And I'll start us off. Hello, check. Testing 1, 2. This is a little up. Turn it up. Check. Okay, that's better. So, when did this start? And can you tell us a little bit about what made you want to start it? A little more in depth about what made you want to start this?
Okay, so we started, when did the pandemic start, y'all? Was that like 2020? I don't forgot now. I feel like we're still in it at times, right? So it started in 2020. This is a home-based business, so it's literally myself and my daughters in the kitchen just whipping it up, right? And just truly bonding as mother and daughters and creating that entrepreneurship in them young. So my oldest daughter struggles with various skincare issues, the main one being eczema. And I got tired of going to the doctors, paying these co-pays, y'all giving me this medicine, it's not working. I don't want to over-medicate my daughter's skin, and most of the products that they give us from the doctor's office, they cause our skin to be discolored or look lighter. No, that's not what we're here for. I want her to embrace her skin, regardless of whatever it looks like. So I just started Googling and doing some research, and I was like, okay, this is good for natural. And then I just started making the products and using it on her skin. And next thing you know, people started realizing, hey, her skin's clearing up. What are you doing? And somebody was like, why don't you sell it? I was like, well, I hadn't thought about it, but I mean, if there's gonna be some change there, why not? So we started making the products and then we started selling it. We were originally called Mazo Beauty, which is named after my daughters. But after some soul searching and going through Ski and them's program and some self-reflection, I realized that really the issue is mixed. So that's how I ended up changing the name to MX'D Natural Skincare.
Aliana, what all products do you create?
Okay, so we have skincare products, facial products. We also have a men's care line. We also are going to be hosting mixed conversations with Aliana. That's me. So we'll have brunches where we'll talk about a variety of things. It's not necessarily racial things, but it can be how to operate or what are the complications you have as a woman in business, a single mom in business, trying to be a mother and trying to do entrepreneurship. So various things that we talk about. We also have merchandise. This is an example of our shirts. We have 4 total. And that's pretty much it. Those are all the products that I think we have for the moment.
Do you have an incentive or reward program for repeat customers?
So yes, so this will eventually end up, our goal is to push it into a subscription service. So we want people to purchase their skincare products from us monthly. So you can go anywhere from 3 months or every 6 months. You'll also have the option to cancel at any time, obviously. But for our VIP customers, they do get some extra incentives. And for our repeat customers, we always have giveaways and stuff like that. As I stated, we've been in business since 2020, so we do already have some consumer base. We just are in a restructuring period. So
Growth, love it. So I was gifted your beard oil, and I've had beard oils in the past, and a lot of the issue that I had with previous ones was like there was a lot of, it was very hard. The smell was hard, right? I'd sit down next to somebody and like, scoot over a chair or whatever. Actually happened, long story. But anyway, I love the fragrance, and what it makes me think about is, how do you come up with this? How do you decide what to mix and what chemicals go with what and what smells, or like, how do you figure all that out?
honestly, it's trial and error. My biggest like test person is my father. So he has no filter. He's a proud Hispanic black man. So he gonna tell me if it doesn't work. So I pretty much just get in the kitchen and I just start pouring. I just start mixing. I'm like, ooh, this is too strong. And then as a woman, I'm like, well, what do I want to smell on my man? Because I don't really want it to be overpowering, but I don't want it to be so subtle that it fades away quickly. So it's really just trial and error. And then once I got the recipe down, I write it down. I give it to my transcriptionist over here, and then that way we can make sure that we're consistent.
Okay, but listen, I had the chemistry set when I was a kid, and there was certain stuff you just didn't mix. How do you know? Like, how do you know?
You don't. It's trial and error, literally.
So have you ever blown anything up?
No, I haven't done that. But I have burnt some stuff before. I have put some smells together, and I'm like, this does not smell. And you just trash the whole batch. It can get kind of consuming, but I've learned to try smaller before you go big, so I'm not wasting a bunch of products. So.
Are all of your ingredients like all natural, so like vegan?
So not necessarily vegan, but about, I want to say about 85% of our products are natural. There are, unfortunately, in the skincare business, there are just some things that you're gonna have to put in it for longevity, for shelf life. But I do my research and try to make sure that I'm picking the products that are gonna be as close to natural without altering the chemistry of the product. But most of our products don't last that long because people use them so much, they're gone. By the time it's even gonna expire, they're already ringing up. So.
I guess I want to initially say I think it's a great name. I think it has a lot of different spin-offs that you can do with that. And so, sounds like you've done some of that, even with just the conversations, being mixed. It's a mixed product, right? So you're mixing up stuff. I kind of really like that. I want to go into the aspect of like marketing and like how are you doing your branding? Where are you marketing? What success or maybe learnings are you having with that?
So that's actually the thing I was gonna say that I probably need help with because I want to take the terminology mix, but I don't want it to be so literal, but it kind of does have to be literal in a sense. So we're gonna do a photo shoot to kind of get us out there, and I'm really trying to pick people from different variations of mixed because you can be Caucasian and still be mixed. You know, your skin is just lighter. So really depicting that within our marketing campaign so people can actually say, oh, it's not just all these mixed girls with curly hair. It's not all of, dark-skinned women. They're literally taking this and showing us the different variations of mixed and different skin types. I have a young lady who has vitiligo. That's a mixed skin type. Do you see what I'm saying? So it's kind of really being intentional. It's my goal and my thought process, but I struggle because I overthink a lot. So it's like, do I want to be literal or do I want to be creative? And I think with the right type of team, I can figure out that happy medium of both.
I have two questions. The first is, do you have like consultants or something like that if you have skincare questions and concerns that we can come to you and ask for advice on what products to use and which order to use them in?
Yes. So I actually have a blog that I'm working on right now that'll actually outline what you need to do as far as skincare, because a lot of people are just slapping stuff on their face and they just don't know what's going on, and then they're wondering why it's super oily, it's not moisturized enough. So I go through the steps of what you should do and the things that you should look for. And I do consult people that are in the skincare industry so that I'm not just pulling it out my side. I did get the information from people that matter, even like dermatologists. So that's the whole thing. I'm hoping that with the blog, people will be like, okay, let me take ownership of my skincare and not just believe what everybody says, but let me just own it.
Yeah, I love that. The second question I have is, what is your customer base like? Like, how many customers do you have? Are you growing rapidly? Like, what's that kind of looking like for you?
Well, we're not growing rapidly right now because I haven't made product in a few months because I've been going through this program with Ski and Low. Why can't I think of the name of it right now?
Urban Launch School.
Thank you. It was slipping my mind. So I just completed that. And really, as I stated, just going through this relaunch phase. So we do have some customers. I'd say we have anywhere between 100 to 150 right now. My family are really the bigger. They're constantly buying products. But it's really like trying to figure out how we can expand beyond just this market. I host pop-up shops as well. So I host events. So my products are always going to those, but it's how do I get them to not just be a one-time purchase because they want to support small business and actually become recurring. So it's that connection piece that I'm missing. And I think it's because I'm primarily a one-woman show, so I can only do so much. So, yeah.
So I really love the subscription model. Like this screams for it. And I know it's July and it's hot. I just feel like this is the right time to do the Christmas push or the holiday push.
Are you reading my mind?
Yeah, I don't know.
So yeah, I'm actually hosting a pre-Black Friday pop-up shop for my other business friends. So I'm going to use that opportunity to kind of relaunch and push all of that stuff. It was supposed to be July 1st, but life be lifeful. So we're here, and I just had to push it back a little bit.
Hi, so I'm Sarah. I'm a design consultant, I'm a business consultant. So I really wanted you to just express more about like your brand, personality, your colors. Like really, let's get into how you put all this, you know, design-wise together. Because I really like the aesthetic. So how did you choose that?
So I'm gonna go religious real quick, right?
Okay.
So I was at home, I had a dream, literally. And I woke up and I was like, I can't go back to sleep. And God was like, you're gonna have to write it down, write it down, write it down. This is how Mix'd was created. And then I was just kind of playing around and I was like, you know, what is a true representation of me? And I am light, you know, I'm lighter complected. My oldest daughter's a little bit lighter than me. And then my youngest daughter is more on the caramel side. So I'm like, browns, that's what unifies me with my daughters. So I just kind of played around and came up with this color scheme and I was like, hey, I like it, I'm gonna go with it. And now I'm literally black, brown, and white every day probably, as you can see from my attire right here. So I'm gonna own it at this point.
Okay, quick follow-up. So how do you want, so when people see your brand, how do you want them to feel? Do you want to feel welcome? Do you want to feel energized? Like what were some words that would use to describe your brand?
Empowered.
Okay.
That's really where I'm like empowered, confident. Like I really want people to, for those who are struggling like with being mixed, because I've done it. I've struggled with my whole life. I'm almost 40 and I'm just now embracing being mixed. So I want people to go on that journey with me and I want to help them on that journey and make them, you don't have to choose. You are who you are. And that's what I want people to feel. When they purchase my product, I want them to feel like she chose me specifically because she made this product for me. That's all what I want. Thank you.
All right, thank you. I think it's wonderful. Tell us a little bit about your competitive outlook in the market that you're in. Obviously, you're going to have competitors.
Mm-hmm.
What are you putting forward as your differentiation, your competitive advantage? How do you defend that?
That is a good question. And honestly, I don't have an answer for you. I just know that Like my biggest competitors are obviously going to be like Dove and Aveeno and all of them. And the reality is, while all of these big companies do have an what's the word, like an African American section, like the black section, you know what I mean? Like they make these products and they say they're for us, but how can they be for us when you're not testing them on us? So you really don't have an effective way to say my product works. So for me, I want to be that company that when you're going down the aisle at Target or Walmart, it's very identified. Like you can see the Caucasian products, you can see the black products. I'm gonna be smack dab right in the middle. So you don't have to choose. You can just right to the center. Look, here it is. So eventually, like I said, we will also have hair care as well. Eventually. So I do that now. I use them on my daughter and myself, but I haven't actually put that out. That'll probably be there's a lot that goes into that. So yeah. You're welcome.
Okay, my question is, so I've heard you say a couple times that this is like at home, you know, it's just you started by yourself, but as we've already spoken, your branding looks good. I see you have a website, you have social media, you have product. Can you tell me about the jump from it's an idea to actually getting the website, because those were business, you know, business decisions. How did you get over that hump and get to that point?
So what really pushed the website is I was going to pop-up shops and I was doing, you know, those, but a lot of customers will say, well, how can I get in contact with you? How can I purchase? How can I do this? And while I would love to give everybody my personal phone number and have them messaging me all the time on Instagram and email, I had to streamline and say, you know what, if you just go to the website, you don't even have to talk to me per se. You can do everything you need to do right there and you're still gonna get the same customer service as if though you were dealing with me. So I was like, a website's the best way to go. It'll kind of not fund itself, but kind of be a working mechanism and shoot me an email when I'm low on product. So it's a lot easier that way than me just him on, you know, across the way.
So what about the other business processes, like, you know, taking money, not just setting up your website, but maybe the business? I don't know if you have an LLC or if it's actual
I do.
business. So,
I have an LLC. So MX'D is now LLC. And then I take payments. I use Shopify. So whatever the major payment methods are right there. I used to take Cash App, not no more, because to me that's just not a valid business decision right now. But so primarily all the major credit cards. Obviously if we're in person, I'll take cash. Whatever. Yeah, I've structured it, but there's still some other things that I know that I need to do. So it's literally, I kind of put the cart before the horse when I started back in 2020. So now I'm kind of retracting after going through urban law school and kind of restructuring and putting some other things in place so that I can really be smooth sailing.
yeah, thank you for that, because I think a lot of small entrepreneurs go through that. You know, they get things running and then realize I need to kind of structure it better. So that's kind of where I'm trying to help and get at is when we're small, when we're small, how do we do all the business stuff and where do we go? So it sounds like you kind of just, you know, through your, you know, walk and building this, you realize I need this. So, okay, thank you.
Yeah, automation is going to end up being my best friend.
So on that note, this might sound like it's all scripted, so I don't want to. So first of all, I wear a couple hats. Urban Law School is one of the hats, but most people here have never heard about it because I don't like mixing those hats because this is a different thing. That's fine. But I do want to ask you, and just forget that I'm in the room, I want to ask you kind of along the lines what Jason was asking. At what point did you realize I need to go out and get some guidance, some resources? Was Urban Law School the first thing that you did as far as like professional development for business? And what was the trigger that made you realize? And then at the end, what was the impact? Was it really impactful? Was it helpful? And in what ways? And again, forget like I'm here.
So for me, I had hit a wall. So I was kind of like, God, if this is going to do something, you're going to have to make it shake. Because I'm tired, I'm over it, I don't want to do it no more. So I was sitting at home, and I don't know how it happened, but the Lord works in a mysterious way. Urban Law School, like Instagram, came across my page. And they just so happened to be accepting applications. So I opened it. It's like, let me see. Obviously, it costs money. I told them this. I had spent my last to actually sign up for the program. I was like, I'm just gonna step out on faith. So I did. And out the gate, like I kind of knew the first day walking in, like it was going to challenge me, but not in a bad way, but a good way. And they can tell you, I literally was going through. I cried, I screamed, I wanted to quit because I did not want to change the name. Like I was just bent on Mazo, but it wasn't working. Like it was working, but it wasn't working. So I think we were in like what I think week 3. And I came in and I was like, yo, I got an idea. Let me just tell y'all. Everybody's like, that's it. That's it. So I was like, okay, that's confirmation. So everything that we learned literally was what I needed. And I didn't even know that I needed some of the stuff, but I did. So going through it, it kind of just made me focus and redirect. Like as an entrepreneur, your mind can go 1,000 different places. Can't get it to shut up. Like it's always trying, I want to do this, I want to do this, I want to do that. Okay, no, stop. Urban Launch School made me literally put a pause on the business. Stop. Like I literally have not made products since Urban Launch School. And that was what, in May, March, April, May. So I haven't made any products. I literally have nothing on my shelves because I had to just restructure. So after going through the process, going through that very stressful pitch competition, because I don't, this is very uncomfortable for me, if you guys can't tell.
Can't tell.
I don't like this. So,
You're doing amazing.
Yes, you are.
thank you.
Killing it.
So after going through all of that, like, I honestly felt like a refresher after the program. Like, okay, you can do this. My mind is at ease. Like, I have a pure path and a goal to go through. So I would strongly recommend that everybody, you know, go through, even if it's the in-person one or the virtual one. Like, it's the resources that you can get that you didn't know that you needed, but maybe you did know, but you just didn't have the confidence to put yourself out there to get them. So that's somewhere.
Or any program, not necessarily.
Or any program, but I'm gonna close this. I'm also doing the, I mean, there's plenty of resources out there for entrepreneurs, especially if you're needing guidance. So I think I'm doing one right now through city council or econ, I don't know what they're called, but they meet on Mondays.
Accelerate Columbus?
Yes.
Yeah.
So definitely take advantage of those resources. And if you don't know where they're at, I truly, honestly believe in Brother Google. He is my best friend, and he will point you in the right direction.
I'm not sure like when you're gonna have your next pop-up, but is that gonna be posted on your,
Yes.
is that gonna be posted on your Instagram?
It's on Instagram, it'll be on Facebook. I wear many hats. I have many businesses, but right now this is the primary. So it'll be on there, so
Awesome.
people will know. Yeah. It'll definitely be in November. I think like look at that, 2 weeks before Thanksgiving. So trying to get ahead of everybody else and they Black Friday shopping.
Vice President Pepper.
You got anything to say?
Oh, I want to congratulate you in saying that's wonderful that you have incorporated your child. I'm sorry to call you a child. I don't know how old you are, but you know that's key for a lot of people to start doing that, right? To start paying their children early and often and getting them used to being in that structure. So I really like how
Absolutely. If you come to a pop-up shop and you see our table, you're gonna see her. She's in charge of sales. I literally, after the first couple, I just let her take off and do her thing. She's the upsell queen. So if you think you're coming to get one thing, let me tell you, you're not. Don't come to my table with a budget because she's gonna make you exceed it every time. I just sit back and like, you know what I mean? Count money.
All right, well, there is one question that we ask every presenter at the end. What can we as a community do for you? How can we help support you?
I think it was the two things that this young lady mentioned was like branding and making sure like my brand and my voice and my everything is like consistent. I guess is the key because like I said, my mind does 1,000 different trails. And then also like the social media aspect, like all of that stuff is, I can do it, but it's hard. So it's like, those are the main things that I felt like if I had that and it was consistent, then people would buy into the brand, the culture that we're trying to commit. Like, I'm very laid back. I crack jokes. This is me. And I want that to be felt throughout everything. I don't want to be too uppity and I don't want it to be too low. It's a nice word to say.
Thank you so much. Oh, wait, you have one stage.
Oh God, y'all gonna give her the mic?
How do you work this?
There you go. Just talk about like this. Oh, she forgot to say we sell lip gloss for the kids. That's all I gotta say. I'm sorry. She's in charge of lip glosses. So she's in charge of lip glosses, all the high school kids. She just told me in the car we need to make some more. And I don't care about the lip glosses, but the vice president does. Because I don't like makeup. That's how it started. She woke up one day. I'm gonna tell you how it really started, okay? She woke up one day and we chilling in the car and I was signed in for school and she was like, Michaela, go on mute real quick. I was like, okay. And she was like, we gonna make lip gloss. Because you love lip gloss and that's all your money goes to is lip gloss. So I was like, okay. And then she was like, let's add body butter. I still have the original video. Like I have it.
Nice, keep it.
It all started from lip gloss.
Right there.
Lip gloss pop.
And again, that is why she was the vice president of sales and all of that good stuff.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.